So we'll just look quickly at how to calculate simple interest on a deposit of $2,000. So we have $2,000 as our principal sum that we'd like to deposit into the bank, and the bank has offered us a simple interest rate of 1.95%. So using our formula for simple interest, it's a fairly simple calculation to determine how much interest will be earned from our principal of $2,000. So quickly we'll just review our formula here. We have S, that stands for our simple interest, will equal our P, which stands for principal, times the rate of 1.95% times the term length in years. We are just going to determine the interest earned for 1 year. Now it's just a matter of substituting some numbers into our formula. So we have our principal, which is $2,000, times the rate of 1.95%. Now we can't punch in 1.95 because that would be inaccurate. We have to change our percent into a decimal. So it's just a matter of dividing it by 100. We're going to get 0.0195. That is the number we substitute in here, and then we times it by our term, which is the amount of years, and that's just 1. We'll bring in a calculator. We have $2,000 times our rate of 0.0195 times our term of 1 year. That's going to give us $39. So with this interest rate that the bank is offering, you're going to earn yourself a whopping $39 on your principal of $2,000 after 1 year. So $39 after 1 year for a grand total $2,039 that will be in your bank account after that 1 year. Now we're going to look at the same principal with the same interest rate. However, it's going to be a compound interest rate over a term of 10 years. In this instance, we're going to be using the compound interest rate formula. So here we're going to have A, that's going to equal the final value of the investment. So that's going to be the principal plus the interest. The P will stand for the principal. The R is the interest rate expressed as a decimal. So we're going to have to turn our percentage into a decimal. The N is the number of compounding periods in a year. So whether it is compounded annually, once a year, or maybe quarterly, 4 times a year, that will determine which number represents N. And T is the term of the investment or the loan in years. So our T up here will be 10 according to the information given. So now it's just a matter of substituting some values into this formula. So we have our A equals P, which is our principal of $2,000, multiplied by 1 plus our rate. Now once again we have to turn our rate into a decimal by simply just dividing by 100, and that's going to equal 0.0195. So we have 0.0195 over N, which stands for the number of compounding periods in a year, and we're going to do annually. So we're going to figure out how much interest is compounded annually, so that means just once a year. So we put a 1 down there, and then we have our N, once again, is once a year times the term is 10 years. So we're just going to make this a little bit easier to read. We have A equals 2,000 times 1 plus this number here, 1.0195, and then 1 times 10 is 10, so to the 10th power. And now we'll bring in our calculator. 2,000 times 1.0195 to the 10th power, so I'm going to push my X to the Y button, push the 10 to represent the 10th power, and we have 2,426, and if we round to the nearest cent, 6 cents. So at the end of 10 years, his principal of $2,000 would have grown to $2,426.06. If you just simply subtract $2,000 from this, you'll find how much total interest he earned, and it's just $426.06 in interest earned over 10 years.